Good morning, America. Snow is gripping America right now, and this is not just a nuisance storm. It's a massive winter storm slamming large portions of the country, bringing dangerous snowfall, whiteout conditions, bitter cold from the plains to the Midwest and into parts of the Northeast. Millions of you are waking up to snow-covered roads, flight cancellations, hazardous commutes. Crews are racing the clock. And emergency officials are urging people to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. These are pictures from New York. And in Indianapolis, drivers stranded there. Look at this. I wouldn't suggest driving in these conditions. People stuck in the snow, not a good idea to be out in this type of weather. And down south, this is in Mississippi. Icicles hanging from power lines, tens of thousands without power this morning. We're tracking where the storm is hitting the hardest and how much more is expected. Let's go to meteorologist Dana Melanson in the Weather Center. Dana.
Good morning. Thanks a lot, Vanessa. Yeah, we're looking at the major winter storm gripping most of the continental U.S. In fact, over half of the population affected in one way or another with this winter storm. Most of it winding down at this point. Nevertheless, obviously we're in recovery mode now in most spots, but still seeing the existence of some more snow for today, especially in the Northeast, but actually some snow forecasted for areas as far south as Texas. Our national satellite does show a lot of cloud work that's going to continue to move through most of the continental U.S., a lot of that stretching along the leading edge of a boundary that's finally the boundary that's really the focal point of this winter storm pushing out over the eastern seaboard. We are seeing it's mainly rain, although it's a mix between Georgia, most of the Carolinas, and a lot of the eastern seaboard, and then turns into snow around New England, around New York. Maine, seeing more deposits of snow for the early morning hours and really not done with snow there. Now, elsewhere, it's going to be problems with ice. But again, today, the good news is that we're going to be seeing a quick clearing of that storm. High pressure dominating most of the continental U.S. with the exception of the eastern seaboard. Take a look at the areas that are going to be impacted by snow accumulation from New England to Texas. And we're talking about areas in Texas as far south as maybe Dallas, Fort Worth, just south of that line. And the real problems will come with the existence of still some wet roadways in most of the deep south, where ice accumulations are going to be really wreaking havoc. Already, more than 2,000 miles of interstate problems with ice and snow gripping those areas. Now, the ice in the south is the big problem because of the temperatures. 15 in Dallas, current temperature, 3 in Wichita, Kansas. We're looking at Kansas City. Well, no reading there. 13 below, though. Minneapolis. We're at 13 in Detroit, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, both recording 11 degrees right now. And Louisville and Memphis are currently recording 12 degrees. This deep freeze that we're looking at could possibly be making a return performance tomorrow morning, which we're going to be watching, which will certainly hinder the efforts of the cleanup from the big massive storm. Today, we're expected to see more snowfall, Portland, Buffalo, Detroit, Chicago, Louisville, and as far south, believe it or not, as Dallas, as our high temperature in Dallas at 21, Kansas City 14, the high in Rapid City with still some ice to contend with. They're looking at 10 degrees. Vanessa?
Well, that storm has knocked out power to more than 1 million people all across multiple states. 2 people have died of hypothermia in Louisiana, and those numbers are early and could change. And look at this rare phenomenon in Texas. This is called a steamnado, a tiny tornado made of steam. A steamnado forms when very cold air moves over much warm water, like a lake or a river. The strong temperatures then contrast. Luckily, the winds are much weaker than tornadoes. And we'll continue to look at the cold conditions later in the show. We hope you are warm from wherever you are watching. Let's go to Minnesota now, where there's protests on the streets and a battle between the federal government and state government. Border czar Tom Homan will be traveling to Minnesota tonight. The president announcing that this morning, that Tom Homan will be heading to Minnesota. The president also releasing a long statement on social media saying this: I am hereby calling on Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and every Democrat governor and mayor in the United States of America to formally cooperate with the Trump administration to enforce our national laws rather than resist and stoke the flames of division, chaos, and violence. And then he gives a numbered outline of what he's calling for. Number one, he's asking for Governor Walz and Mayor Frey that they should turn over all criminal illegal aliens that are currently incarcerated in their state prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with all illegal criminals with an active warrant or known criminal history for immediate deportation. Number two, he's asking for state and local law enforcement to agree to turn over all illegals arrested by local police. Number three, local police, he said, must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes. Number four, President Trump says Democrat politicians must partner with the federal government to protect American citizens and the rapid removal of all criminal illegal aliens in our country. Some Democrats, he says, in places like Memphis, Tennessee, or Washington, D.C., have done so, resulting in safer streets for all. In addition, he says, I am hereby calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation to end sanctuary cities, which is the root cause of all these problems. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding American citizens only, not illegal alien criminals who broke into our nation's laws. Well, Governor Walz, he was asked about cooperating with the Trump administration. Here's Governor Walz's response.
Is there anything we can do to meet the Trump administration, at least part of the way, to try to turn this temperature down?
Well, first of all, it's not a serious attempt, and the Attorney General sent that in. I would thank the local folks and Commissioner Snell. A great thank you to you and your team over there. In that letter, they talked about, you need to hand people over who are in your jails. They're taking credit for people that we've had in jail for a long time. We always hand them over, and the Commissioner very clearly. So they're lying. They're lying. This has nothing to do with fraud. As the Attorney General said, they're not sending us forensic accountants, and these are things that have been we're dealing with now and have been for quite some time. So look, it's not a serious attempt to get at this. The way to fix this is get these folks out of here. We've continued to work with them. They asked us for these numbers. We provided them. We continue to show they're not serious. And look, I think everybody understands what the last request was, totally unrelated to anything on the voter files. This is, again, as the Attorney General said, Donald Trump telling everybody that the election was rigged, who started all this nightmare for America. Has nothing to do with it. And I would just give a pro tip to the Attorney General. There's 2 million documents in the Epstein files we're still waiting on. Go ahead and work on those.
Oh, work on those. So the governor is still saying he wants ICE out of his state and turns the fraud scandal that he's under into the Epstein scandal. You see how he's turning everyone's attention to that? Welcome to the winter of love in Minnesota. Fraud and violent protests all allowed by the governor and Mayor Frey of Minneapolis. Well, another government shutdown is looming as well, and Congress is at odds over several key bills, including the SAVE Act. That legislation would require proof of U.S. citizenship when people register to vote in federal elections. It's passed the House, and now it's sitting in the Senate. Our Allison Steinberg asked Representative Steve Scalise about the holdup.
Can you please explain the difference between this new SAVE Act that you're talking about? How is it different from the old one, and why won't Thune bring it to the floor for a vote?
Well, the SAVE Act that we passed over to the Senate strictly deals with making sure that you have to prove your citizenship to vote. We know that there are illegals voting in a number of states. Frankly, many states like California encourage illegals to vote. And that's what the SAVE Act is focused on. Chip Roy put a lot of time into that. But along the way, we also want to make sure that there are other areas of voter fraud that we address. And one of them is requiring picture ID. There are a number of states that actually say you can't require picture ID to vote, and that is a recipe for voter fraud because They also, some of those same states say you can have same-day voter registration. So somebody can literally register and say, I'm Mickey Mouse, and they put that on the registration. They have no idea, of course, saying that they are, because they're not, and yet they're able to legally vote, which means they can steal someone else's vote by fraudulently voting. If you put a picture ID requirement, it actually ensures much better that the sanctity of the vote is intact for all voters. So we're going to be bringing a bill that does both the SAVE Act combined with picture ID, and that's an even stronger measure, and send that to the Senate. And I hope we get that vote on the Senate floor.
There's a huge push this morning to pass the SAVE Act to secure our elections. Think about it. We need IDs to drive, IDs to go into a casino, IDs to buy alcohol. The list goes on, but no ID to vote? Make it make sense. This should be a no-brainer and should pass the Senate. We'll keep you posted on that as well. Well, as we've reported, the United States has officially withdrawn from the World Health Organization. Early last year, President Trump began the process. It's now official. One of the reasons given is the World Health Organization's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. One woman who knows about this all too well is Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger joining us today. Good to see you, Dr. Astrid. Health and Human Services Director Bobby Kennedy, he says this gives America a way to regain its independence by withdrawing. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. First, thanks for having me and that I can report on what's going on. But I agree completely. I think all the moves they are doing with the United Nations and WHO is fantastic. We really need to do that. They have gone beyond what they are supposed to do, just coordinate member states. And I've called this since 5 years now. It's a coup on the world, and they have taken all the sovereignty out of people. Member states are like private corporations that meet in the World Economic Forum of Davos and at the United Nations multilateral organizations, which President Trump is not only exiting since a year, but retreating all the funds of USAID and major NGOs. You have to know that the Geneva United Nations has more meetings and more UN agencies than any other place in the world. And they're in deep problems, to not say another word, because the funding was the whole matter for succeeding. So people are very worried to lose their job now. I know that from Intel. But what he has done, which is, I was so surprised, and I'm glad, because I always said, yeah, you have to dismantle the United Nations, because people don't understand. It's like a huge kraken, octopussy, that has been done on purpose. And the United Nations Assembly is the mother of the whole UN system of WHO too. And the Security Council that is there for peace is actually not there. So he did two major things in the Davos, if I may say that now, is that he said he would do an executive order, and he has done it, and he has reiterated it, that it has to go fast. It's Executive Order 14199, for those who want to go and see it. 66 organization and multilateral organization, of which 31 are UN related, and the 35 are UN related, but they are multilateral agencies where people meet, for the UN Economic Commission for Europe, for the global this, for the global that. And that's how they met and how they built this dictatorship that happened in the whole world. So that's one thing that he has done is absolutely fantastic. And I'm so glad that your president is moving the world like that.
Yes, and I just want to let everyone know you're in Switzerland, and so you have been involved with all of this for a very long time. And so our viewers who are not familiar with you, she has a very lengthy resume, and this is what she does. You know, they're saying, Doctor, that system, like you mentioned, it no longer serves the American people. Going back to the COVID-19 days, the NIH director, he joined Fox to talk about the withdrawal. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
The WHO absolutely failed during the pandemic. And you said, Laura, you absolutely nailed it. They pushed the line that China pushed on the world, on the lockdowns, hiding COVID origins, the whole host of things where they utterly failed. And if you look around the world, are they actually serving the purpose they're supposed to serve? Have they really helped make the world healthier? Is U.S. participation in this organization going to make Americans healthier? I think we all know the answer to that question. The answer is absolutely not. And so I'm tremendously happy that this is happening. I mean, I do think we need to have cooperation with countries around the world, and the Trump administration is working to make sure that we have those bilateral agreements in place for that kind of health cooperation. But we don't need the WHO as an intermediary, essentially to push Chinese interests on the American people.
Your reaction to that, Doctor?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big scam what WHO did, because they lied to the people. And not only that, they betrayed the people, and they betrayed science itself. Because I was on the International Health Regulation training team between 2009 and 2014, and they have violated the International Health Regulation and violated the UN Charter and violated all international law. Even what they call COVID, they have not isolated or made sense out of what is it exactly that people had. And this is a big topic that we're going to debate probably in the US a lot and in Europe. But they really violated their own law. You cannot just declare that the whole world is sick in a month or two. It's just mathematically impossible and geographically impossible with a mutant. So they have lied from A to Z. And I was very shocked when I saw that they were fear-mongering. They were locked down people with no justification. Down you could not even travel anymore. You had to put those horrible masks made in China, and that bring you bacterial pneumonia, by the way. And they keep on lying. And so I'm glad that they exited, and it shows a new model, because what they're doing now is doing a board for peace, a board of peace in Davos. President Trump is chairing that. It is new. He announced that in Davos. And there are now 20 signed countries who have signed that. And those who have not signed are hesitating. And he said that this is not to replace, but to work with the United Nations. But actually, the United Nations is failing completely on peace operations. They have done this since a long time. In the Rwanda genocide, they were not there. They didn't do anything. Peace Corps don't work. I've been involved in the Human Rights Commission. He's pulled out of the Human Rights Commission. So what he's doing there, I now understand, and I think everybody understands better and better the strategy. It is to move into peace and to make the business and the sense of peace and not of war. He has showed and demonstrated that. And to start an international organization that is out of the global materialist hold up on the sovereignty of people. So I think this move is not going to stop. He's going to keep on building a new sovereign member state country and denunciate all the lies. And I think it's a great strategic move.
Very strategic. And, the world was watching the World Economic Forum. And when you mentioned the Board of Peace, he outlined that as well. Let's take a quick recap of the president speaking on the Board of Peace.
As part of this historic record of major peace initiatives, today we're announcing more details regarding the Board of Peace, so important. This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they said, you be the chairman. And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people and incredible young people that are leading it from within. It's running beautifully, started already. And every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it. And we just sent out the letters a couple of days ago, and these are just the countries that are here. They happen to be in Davos. So we said, would be honored if you wanted to join us up on the stage. And it's really great. They're friends of mine. I think, let me see. Yeah, every one of them is a friend of mine. A couple, let's see, a couple I like, a couple I don't like. No, I like, actually, this group, I like every single one of them. Can you believe it? Usually I have about 2 or 3 that I can't stand. Usually I have 2 or 3 that I don't like. I don't find them up here. I like every one of these people. No, they're great people. They're great leaders. And the Board of Peace is composed of leaders, the top leaders in the world, actually.
The Board of Peace, and of course, President Trump getting a chuckle from the audience, as he usually does, Doctor. But yes, the Board of Peace is very strategic, like you mentioned. I think that's a great word, because that just shows how President Trump is. Everything he does, you know, if you look online, you always see people, Doctor, talking about he's the king of chess, and you have to be very strategic in the game of chess, and he always has the right moves up his sleeve.
Yes, I agree completely. And I see more and more that he is going toward the sovereignty. This membership, I read a bit the charter. There is a charter of 11 pages. And what is very new compared to the UN, you can retreat when you want. You can enter voluntarily as a member state, and they have to pay for reconstruction. They have to pay for peace building. And this is completely different from the United Nations, who was making money on humanitarian aid. I was involved also with Yemen, and it was like crazy. The humanitarian couloir was, rolling down money with USAID, and here it's a total shift. You are going to invest in peace in Gaza as the first model, and then there is Ukraine, and then he's going to roll out a lot of things. And I think this is going to be the entry door to a new way of organizing the world. Not with big multilateral organization that nobody understands, like the WEF did in the United Nations, but something really genuinely new and adapted to our century. You have to know one thing people don't know is the Society of Nations was the first small United Nation after First World War. Then they created this, and Geneva was the headquarters. And they did the second United Nations huge system after the Second World War. And it became so huge that nobody understood anymore the UN system. So this is dismantling really the United Nations system and taking over, like some countries, especially the EU countries who denied, they don't want to join. They are NATO, and they don't want, because they say that Trump is breaking the international law and the whole multilateralism of the United Nations international law with the Board of Peace, which is great. It's actually what we needed. And in that way, people can understand how strategic it is. It's amazing. I would never have thought of that.
Oh, yes. President Trump would, though. That's why we voted him in. Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show with us today. I want people to follow you. I know you're on X. They can follow your account there and keep up with the work that you're doing. We have your page up right now for people to go and follow. Thanks for what you do, and keep up the good work. And we hope you'll join us again soon.
Sure. I'd be happy.
Thank you. Well, more to come here this morning when we come back, how you can become part of a growing news trend. Become a journalist in your city. We'll talk about that. And as we go to break, a look from above at downtown Dallas, Texas, covered in snow. Look at that. We'll be right back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. MyPillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Well, what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Lichtenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LINDELLOILBOOM.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LINDELLOILBOOM.com.
We're back with live pictures from Times Square in New York City, courtesy of EarthCam on YouTube. This is Times Square. Look how cold it looks there. Hardly any cars on the road as well. New York City is drenched in snow this morning as that massive winter storm grips much of the nation. And Hank Williams Jr. said it best when he sang "A Country Boy Can Survive." Now to Texas. We have video where a man just got in his truck. Oh, they don't have it, but a man got in his truck. He had some rope and a tube, and they had a little fun in the snow, tubing with the kids, and that's how they do it down in the South. But there was some video of that, fun to watch, but even the people down south are enjoying the snow this morning. All right, let's talk about a new way to report the news. Sam Anthony with Your News is with us here this morning, joining us to talk about his website and how you can be a part of this growing trend. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Good to see you. And, looking at that snow everywhere. I'm in Florida. It's 80 plus degrees here. So we just don't see that stuff. And I'm surprised. I think it normally comes, from the north to the south. But this time I think it's west to east. So we got lucky.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell you, I hope it's warm where you are, but you're down in Florida, so you're enjoying some sunny skies. Lucky you. I can't say that for us here in much of the nation, but that's okay. We'll just, they always say California dreaming, but we're not California dreaming anymore. We're Florida dreaming today, Sam. So
Exactly.
Let's talk about your website, yournews.com. You've been on the show before. We appreciate you putting LINDELLTV on your website as well. But this is a great way for the average American, anyone in America can subscribe to your website, set up an account, and become part of the news. Tell us all about it.
We're a daily, like any daily news website, but we're local in every city in the United States. So just think of me as the Dallas Morning News or Chicago Tribune on steroids. So we operate 20,000 cities and however many zip codes there are, roughly 70,000 zip codes. So we could serve news to a city, to a county, to a market, which is defined by television DMAs. And then state, regional, or national. So we're a news content distribution with massive scale, an aggregator, like every news outlet there is. And all we're doing is taking all the country's information, bringing it under one umbrella and creating one uniform media, which comes to what you're talking about, the citizen journalist thing, where everybody knows Nick Shirley, and Nick Shirley went out and just started reporting on news. It got national attention. We have almost 6,000 Nick Shirleys, Vanessa. Okay,
Wow.
So we have local news reporting all over the United States. And ultimately, we all know the legacy media is not going to survive. Whether you believe they're lying or not is irrelevant. It's an antiquated product. It's the reason you don't send a telegraph anymore. It's because there's always a product that replaces something else. So what we do will ultimately become the next mainstream media.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And so we encourage everyone to get on, because that is a growing trend. Independent journalism. People have lots of news in their cities, and this is a way for them to get online, post their stories, post their videos, and become the next Nick Shirley, like you just mentioned. And so we appreciate your website. People can go to yournews.com. Walk us through how people can join.
Sure. You go to yournews.com, make sure you're in your city. So you see at the top of the page, it'll give you the date and it'll tell you a city name. Yours doesn't, but you could click change location, put in your zip code, and it'll take you to your city. So it's going to look just like this. But we serve not only national news, we have local news all across the United States. And for those who want to become paid news reporters, Vanessa, we have a monetization model that works identical to YouTube. So everybody understands YouTube. And, most of the people on YouTube never went to broadcast journalism school, but due to their technology, anybody could be a broadcast journalist and the cream will rise to the top. So what we've created is a technology where anybody can become a local news reporter. And it doesn't matter if it's audio, video, or print. We support all three. So they could go to the bottom of the page. There's a button down there that says become a citizen journalist. They could click that link and they could watch a couple videos. If they like what they hear, they would fill out the application that comes into us. Once they get approved, they get email notification with instructions on how to use their dashboard. If you go down a little more, you'll see a place where people can fill out a form right there. That's the application. And then once they become a news reporter, they, just like Nick Shirley, they could go out and start reporting local news in their community. It's really simple.
And like you just mentioned, the more you post, the more the possibilities are that you can get monetized. And so I can't even imagine what Nick Shirley, Sam, is making off X right now for his post that he's been doing there in Minnesota. But he has made a name for himself and he's all over the place now. So anyone can be a Nick Shirley and be an independent journalist. That's where people are heading now anyway. They're tired of the fake news and they're heading more into independent journalism because that's where the truth is. So go to yournews.com, sign up today. And if you don't want to be an independent journalist, that's okay. Not all of us are built for that. But you can read a lot of news of what's going on all over the country. What did you say? 6,000 independent journalists on the website. So make sure you go log in and make sure you have that in your saved accounts for your websites that you look at every single day. All right, well, I have you here. There's a new venture that you're wanting to talk about today as well. Tell us about that.
So I think we're talking about what we're doing with an equity crowdfund. Is that correct?
Yes.
So normally companies that do private placements like Facebook and, and Netflix and Uber and Amazon, they go through Silicon Valley and they get funded through Silicon Valley. What we decided to do was eliminate the institutional money because, as far as I'm concerned, and I think you would agree with this, the reason we're in the mess we're in today, Vanessa, is because of the media and because they were not telling the truth. And there are 6 institutions that control the legacy media. So we believe, since we're a citizen-powered press and we put the power of the press back in the hands of the people should own the product, not the institutions. So we're doing something unique. It's called an equity crowdfund. And if you go to the bottom of your news, it'll say invest. And you could click the link, which takes you to this page, it takes you to Issuance Express, which is our page. They're owned by North Capital Partners. And people could read about what we're doing. And if they want to make an investment in the company, they can actually, click invest and they can, fill out the information. And you can put in as little as $200 or whatever's comfortable for you. And so far, we've raised just under $500,000 off of it. So we're building a network of investors that are all independent people, not institutions. And we'll be doing that through this round. This round will be closing out. We'll start another one, but a much higher valuation. Than ultimately the game plan is to take this public. Because my personal opinion on this, the whole thing, Vanessa, is the people need to own this, not just 1 or 2 individuals. It needs to be owned by everybody. So that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. People are tired of that too, Sam, whenever, you look at big tech, big corporations and how they're controlling the American people. People are just fed up with it. And so that's why, again, we are moving on into where there's more freedom, more independence, more independent journalists, more independence and, being able to invest. It's time for this to be a country where Americans have more of the say and not these big corporations.
I totally agree. Remember, we live in a world that's centralized, right? Centralized news. I mean, all the people make all the money off of the tech giants. We're all the institutional players through Silicon Valley. None of us were allowed to participate in any of those until they went public, right? So the equity crowdfunds completely decentralized the investment community, whereas products like mine completely decentralize the news business. So what we are is a free speech platform. And anything, look, cryptocurrency decentralizes the currency business, right? Anything that decentralizes DC is always going to be better. And we believe, like I'm telling you right now, that the next news reporter in your local community is probably going to be your neighbor who signs up on our site that you already know and trust. And they're going to be the ones that go to the city council meetings, cover the local stories that are happening and share it with the community. That's where everything's heading. And you already know this because it's happening. I'm the aggregator of all of it.
Yeah, and we appreciate your website, yournews.com. You can also see us live there every morning as well. So thanks for teaming up with Lindell TV. We appreciate you. And if you're at home watching, if you're bundled up today from the cold weather and not moving from your house because you're hunkered down, go check out Your News, sign up, and become a citizen journalist. And let us know about it too, because I would love to hear your intake. You know, I'm a newsie and I bleed everything journalism. So make sure you let me know if you sign up for Your News and to be a citizen journalist. That's where we're heading, and that's what people are turning to. Sam, I'm so glad you're here with us today, and we appreciate everything you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Vanessa. Great to be on your show. Congratulations.
Thank you, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you, and good morning to you. Stay warm and happy down there in good old sunny Florida. We're a little jealous of you right now, but that's all right.
All right. Thank you, hon.
All right, well, the annual March for Life was held this weekend in Washington, D.C. It was cold there as well, but tens of thousands of pro-life advocates marched through the National Mall, being a voice for the unborn. Our Allison Steinberg was there right in the middle of it all.
We are here at the 53rd Annual March for Life, the largest pro-life rally right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Since 1974, the march has occurred every single year, regardless of weather, and let me tell you, it is chilly. Now, for a little background, pro-life advocate Nellie Gray founded and organized the March for Life as a direct response to Roe versus Wade, which unfortunately legalized abortion nationwide on January 22nd, 1973. Now, Gray, along with other grassroots activists, originally planned for the March for Life to be a one-time march, but as we know, it became an annual event after the court did not immediately reverse the ruling. Now, thanks to the landmark 2022 Dobbs versus Jackson decision, the Supreme Court finally overturned Roe versus Wade, returning abortion regulation back to the states. Now, while we do still have work to do on the state level, we no longer have to argue to the Supreme Court, but rather our fellow citizens. So today, we march for life to let others know that every life is a gift and that every life is fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of our glorious Creator. We are here with, what's your name?
Rosemary.
Rosemary, I love that name.
Emmeline.
Emmeline, oh my gosh, beautiful names. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Laconia, New Hampshire.
Same. Okay. And what brings you guys out to Washington, D.C. today?
For March for Life.
Yes. So tell us why it is important to be here and, you know, what people need to know about the March for Life.
I just think, like, babies are beautiful and life is a blessing, so we should always cherish that. So.
Yeah, abortion is never the answer. There's so many other solutions and people are there to support you along the way, and that it's so important to come together as Christians for such an important cause.
What would you say to someone who, you know, a liberal that would use the argument, my body, my choice? I mean, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So as a Christian, I believe that that life is at the beginning of conception. Scripture says that we're formed in our mother's womb, that God created us, and I believe that a woman who has a child, is pregnant with a child, that it is two lives, not one. And so it might be her body and her choice, but we believe that that baby is a life. That baby is a separate being, and they have the same right to life that the woman does. And so we want to protect that life and speak up for the unborn.
How do you feel the administration has done on the life front thus far?
So far, the things that JD enumerated were great. I'm happy with all of those things, especially what he said about the Mexico City policy. And we're just going to see if the progress continues. We need to hold their feet to the fire. We can't just let the politicians off the hook easy. There's other life issues that they sometimes are not considering, like more embryos are killed in IVF than they are through abortion. We have a lot of problems with the abortion pill being exported, sent from state to state, to places where it's illegal, from states where it is legal. And so I'd like to see what they can do about those issues. We need to respect human life from conception till natural death. And sometimes I think sometimes we're content to say, oh, well, we just banned it up to, up to 8 weeks and that's enough. And I know it's not enough. We have to, if it's a human being from the start, we have to protect it as a human being from the start. So I think there's more we can do.
So what do you guys think so far of the March for Life?
It's really great, honestly. It's amazing how all these political people are talking about like how God is just changing this whole world about abortion. Like we're all supporting like pro-life because we believe that a life matters even if it's just as small as a baby. Because a baby's life is still alive. It's like if you do abortion, it's still a murder. But yeah, we love this. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and it's amazing to see young folks like yourselves here. That's not something you see every day. The younger crowd often gets caught up into the lie that, abortion is okay and it somehow empowers women. So I love seeing younger folks here.
We're just standing up. We're against abortion. We hate what they're doing to all the babies out there.
Amen.
Yeah.
Why do you hate it?
I hate it because I feel like it's wrong. In the Bible it says not to abort. So I feel like if we're trying to be good Catholics, we should follow that, Yeah. So
I think it is that there's some people that, are believers, they go to church, but they still think abortion is acceptable. How would you?
Me personally, I just think it's like wrong. Like you can't just do that to like a living person that's gonna have like the rest of their life to accomplish anything they want. Then they're gonna have parents, Like you can't just do that to people,
So tell us why this is an important cause, why you want to be here today.
Because they don't have a voice, so we need to speak for them.
What is the path forward? What do we need to do to ban abortion nationwide?
I think it's a good question. I think right now, from a federal level, like there's a lot of things that we've done, but at the state level, this is where we really need to go out and stand up for the truth and stand up for what we believe. And so, every single person, the state that you're in, go out and vote. Go out and do research about the people that are going to be making those political decisions from a state legislative standpoint. Vote for people that are going to choose life, that are going to choose to protect the lives of the unborn. And then also, I believe in going to church. Go back to church. Go and be a part of a community that is looking to the Lord, looking to God and His Word for a standard of how to live, not just from a moral standpoint, but also from a spiritual standpoint as well.
Why do you think it is that there are so many people out there that think the opposite? They think it's my body, my choice. A baby isn't actually a human life. Like, why do you think that is?
I think they just don't want to have like responsibility for that child, so they don't want to have it, so they just choose abortion.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing to do, to get rid of the baby and stuff like that.
What would you advise them? Like, are there alternatives to this choice? Like, what would you tell them?
You can always reach out for help to churches or anything. Like, people are always willing to help for these types of things, and you can always give it up for adoption too if you don't want to take care of it. But you can always still have it.
What would you say is the most important message to the younger generation? Because how old are you guys roughly?
I'm 14.
I'm 15.
15. 13.
13. Wow. Okay, so you guys are beautiful young ladies, but there are so many other young ladies out there who are on the wrong side of history. What is your message?
I would say find God. He'll truly lead you to where you have to go. And there's so many other options besides abortion. Truly what she said, be careful, or just really think about the baby. That's a life right there you should think about.
And it's my hope that more and more people would be willing to have these conversations, because it often seems the other side is the one that's not really willing. They're very emotionally driven, and it's hard to get anything through to them. So
when you don't have reason on your side, emotion is all you've got. So you're going to take away my ability to live the life I want to live. So I'm not going to listen to any of the rational arguments. And so that's what we're dealing with, and we have to break that down with kindness and questions, but we still have to be firm. And I think a good way is to ask people a lot of questions, when do you think life begins, and why do you think that? And you say you're following the science, but what is an embryo? They're not, and so you have to learn how to ask them probing questions and be as charitable as you can be. But we got to be courageous. A lot of people are afraid to have these conversations.
All right. Well, there was a security scare at Miami airport. Travelers evacuated This was yesterday. We have the latest information from Miami next. But first, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth celebrated his one-year anniversary this weekend of being in charge. And this weekend, he released a message, another win for our military. Watch.
A cabinet with its mirrors smashed, a dresser missing a leg. How about a treasured German-made clock shattered into pieces? A sofa that appeared as if it was dragged on the street, or a used toilet brush tucked in with the family's clothes. Upon arrival at their new duty station, one soldier and her family discovered that their boxes were packed upside down. Everything inside was spilled out and crushed. Quote, "I grew up in the military and our things always arrived damaged or packed wrong," said one family member. "We hardly got any money for it." These are some of the stories about what it's like to move when you're serving in the military, or at least what it used to be like when you moved in the military. Last year, as we were heading into peak moving season, I pledged to fix this mess, to make the moving process serve our warriors as it should be. They're the ones who are sacrificing the most, and they're the ones that deserve the best. So we established a task force to assess the problems of the permanent change of station, or PCS moves. We listened to the concerns of our warriors. And so I fired the head of the failing program. Well, all through the peak moving season and even through the government shutdown, our task force was thankfully a success. That's why, effective immediately, I'm designating this activity, which is personal property activity, as a Department of War special activity. It will be a permanent solution for all service members who move. It'll be headquartered at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois and established by May 1st. Major General Lance G. Curtis will be its first commander. In fact, he was the man we called to put in charge of this, that fixed it, and he's going to continue. Its mission is to guarantee high quality, reliable, and efficient household goods and vehicle shipment services to the more than 300,000 warfighters worldwide who move somewhere every new year. Baggage and other household effects, they need to arrive on time, and they will. Storage in transit and non-temporary storage will be professional. There'll be no other standard. And if there are failures, our job is to correct it and make it right, not deny that it happened. We'll correct it and make it right. General Curtis will report to me here at the Pentagon, as he has already. And with this order, we're streamlining the moving process end to end, establishing a standard of accountability all across the entirety of the Department of War. In addition, the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, for fiscal year 2026, signed by President Trump in December, includes relocation resources for our military families. So we're funding this to make it happen. They'll get information about local school enrollment for their children and employment for other family members, support that makes it easier when you're moving to a new location. We know moving is difficult for everyone involved, every person in that family. So our warfighters deserve the kind of predictability, accountability, and respect during that process. Brings the stress down and makes it something they can focus on their job. Our warriors deserve the best, and that's what this reform will deliver.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice, speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
We all know what MyPillow has done for quality sleep, and we know what quality sleep does for our health. Well, now we're taking things a step further, introducing our brand new health and wellness line, formulated by a doctor with over 20 years of experience who only uses the highest industry standards. I've known and worked with him for over 13 years, and they're made right here in my home state of Minnesota. We have everything from ashwagandha and apple cider gummies, a liquid joint formula, body and beauty detox kits, liquid complex for heart and brain support, a cold buster all-in-one immune formula, Vibe, the best superfood ever, fish oil omega-3 pills, pro and prebiotics gut health formulas, and so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Looking at the numbers, opening bell on Wall Street this morning, all in the green. The Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, all up this morning. Good news there. And mark your calendars because this week, Melania Trump will be at the New York Stock Exchange ringing in the opening bell. We hope to have coverage for you on that here on the morning show. That will be on Wednesday, when Melania, again, will be at the New York Stock Exchange. Looking at your news to go as you start your day, an all clear has been given at Miami Airport. Travelers were evacuated there yesterday afternoon after police responded to a reported threat and suspicious activity inside the airport. Passengers were briefly halted or rerouted as officers investigated. Everything is safe and back up and running this morning. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, accompanied by destroyers, has reached the Middle East and now is within range of Iran. So big news there that it's now in the Middle East in range of Iran. No official word yet from the White House, so we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. President Trump, looking at his schedule this week, he will be heading to Iowa tomorrow, visiting Des Moines. Today he's at the White House with a schedule full of meetings, but tomorrow again he will be speaking in Iowa. We will have coverage of that here on LINDELLTV. And looking ahead to Wednesday, the president will be back in D.C. and will give remarks on Trump accounts. We'll have coverage of that as well coming up on Wednesday. Turning Point USA has made it official, announcing it will have its own halftime show on February 8th. You know, there's been a lot of rumblings about this. Are they going to do it? A lot of chitter chatter about an alternate halftime show since the NFL has gone woke. Well, they posted this last night. They're doing it, announcing Turning Point USA will have its own halftime show on February 8th. No woke NFL halftime show with a man performing in a dress. That's what they're saying we'll be seeing this year on the stage. Not me, not watching. I'll be watching Turning Point's big show. This will be good, all-American, clean music, so make sure that's what your kids are watching during the All-American Halftime Show. More details will come out soon as we wait for the announcement on entertainers, but you can bet it's America First, good, godly music for the All-American Halftime Show from Turning Point USA. And for all of your news of the day, make sure you're getting your headlines on LINDELLTV.com. We are there live every single morning. You can also go there to the Lindell Report. So many news headlines. Make sure you're logged on LINDELLTV.com. And we leave you today in prayer, as we always do. Our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Isaiah, and it says this: "The Lord said, I, even I, am the one who wipes out your transgressions for my own sake, and I will not remember your sins." That comes from the book of Isaiah. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us for Breaking News 24/7. Make sure you're following me on social media. I'm always there. And send me a message. I would love to talk to you. And we'll see you same time, same place here tomorrow. Keep warm. wherever you are, and have a good day, America.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code Lindell10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.